Hi, I'm Melanie from Yoga Within, and I'm also a yoga instructor with the Yoga Association of Alberta. Welcome to session 4. Today we'll start seated, so sit in a comfortable position, and remember, if you need a prop, a blanket, or a block to sit up on, to lift the hips, and then tilt the pelvis slightly forward. So don't perch right up on it, tilt forward. If you're not comfortable with your legs crossed, you can always stretch them out. And just rest your hands in a comfortable position on your knees or in your lap. Your eyes can be open or closed. Just take a long breath in and a long letting go exhalation. Just allowing your body to begin to settle. One more long deep breath in. And a long letting go exhalation. Just letting all the activities of your day so far begin to melt away. Let your awareness come to your breath, and don't force the breath, just let it come and go naturally. Let the breath breathe you. Take a moment just to notice your thoughts. Remembering that we have thousands of thoughts each day, and they come and they go, and they come back again. For this moment, just notice your thoughts. Try your best not to judge them, just notice them for what they are. And whatever they might be, just try to accept them. Take a breath in and a breath out. Try to let those thoughts drift by one by one. When we notice them, acknowledge them, accept them for what they are, it becomes a little easier just to let them drift by. Take these next few breaths just to connect with how you're feeling right now in this moment. Begins to return, and your chin can just drop down towards the hollow of your throat and begin to bring some gentle movement into the neck, just letting the chin rock from side to side across the collarbone. Now, depending on how your neck feels, you may find that you can move the chin from shoulder to shoulder, or perhaps even a little higher, extending the chin up towards the ceiling, down and across and up to the other side. And then just pause at the center for a couple of breaths and lift your head up. Roll your shoulders back 5 or 6 times. Try to keep your chin parallel to the floor, and then roll them the opposite way. Remember the importance of our shoulder rolls to release all that tension we hold in the neck and the shoulders. Let your shoulders soften, and then take a moment just to notice your legs. What leg is in front? Lift your knees up, stretch your legs out, and give them a nice bounce. And if you have knee problems, take your hands, support the knees, and just bounce them out, each leg. And now, as you come back to cross-legged, if you are choosing that, cross your legs the opposite way. We tend to take the path of least resistance, so we tend to do our easiest side first. Now switch it up. Again, rest your hands on your knees, chins parallel to the floor, and let your right ear drop to your right shoulder. Take a few breaths here. You can walk that left hand out, and you can flex through the heel of the hand, just lifting the palm and the fingertips off the floor. Now remember that you are in charge of your practice, and if you find yourself moving into anything that's causing you a lot of pain, you have the ability to come out of it at any time. Now you may find that you want to try lifting that arm up, maybe taking it down. Just being kind to yourself, not moving into the most amount of pain or any pain, finding ease. And then let those fingertips settle back down. Roll the chin to the center of the chest and lift your head up. Bring the hand back to the knee and drop your head over to the other side. Just take a few breaths in and out here, lifting your chest, noticing your breath, not forcing it, but just noticing it. You can walk those opposite fingertips out, flex the hand, continue to notice your breath, not moving into sensation of pain. And then again, you can explore movement in that opposite hand, maybe bringing it a little higher, a little lower. You can also go back and forth, even though we didn't on the other side. Try to find what gives you a safe stretch without any pain, tweaks, or twinges. And then lower those fingertips back down. Roll the chin to the center and lift the gaze up. It's good. Just turn the head gently from side to side. See what your neck mobility is. Remember, your neck, it is an extension of the spine, so really taking care, noticing how it feels. It's good. Walk your fingertips out. Put your left hand on your left hip and slowly bend to the right. Take a few breaths here. Depending on how your neck feels, you can turn your gaze up to the ceiling if it's not causing you neck strain. Good. Bring yourself back to the center. Walk yourself up and switch your hands. Going over to the other side, make sure the weight's even on both glutes. Let those shoulders soften. Taking the gaze up if the neck allows that movement. Notice your breath. It tells you an important story, and it's your story. So when the breath is even and calm, it's a sign that we're in the present moment. And when we're aware, the risk of injury is much less. Bring the gaze back, bring yourself up, and we'll switch sides one more time. This time, if the shoulder allows, you can lift that arm up. If the shoulders and the neck are causing you problems, keep that hand on the hip. Work with your breath, make sure the weight's even in the glutes. And on this hand that's on the ground, try to tap your fingers. Don't put all the weight down. It's all about finding lightness and strength in the body. The gaze can go up if it doesn't strain the neck or the shoulders. Following that gentle rhythm of your breath. The gaze goes straight ahead. You bring yourself up and switch sides. Again, remember, same option applies. You can put the hand on the hip if that's better for your shoulders. Try not to let the head hang down. Try to bring the ear up towards the arm, building that neck strength. Weights as even as you can get it on the glutes. But try not to worry so much about what things look like and really just get to know what does it feel like within your body. You really are your own best teacher. It's good. Bring yourself up. Lower the hand down. Bring your hands forward, whether it's on the knees or elbows on knees or hands to the floor. I'll just turn sideways so you can see. And take yourself into a gentle forward fold, not letting that head hang. You can rock a little bit from side to side if that brings you a bit of ease and stability. Now see if you can go up onto your fingertips and slowly move your arms and your torso over to the right. Let the shoulders drop, the neck be long. And feel the weight even on the glutes. Find your way back to the center. And just pause, reestablishing your foundation, remembering that's whatever's on the ground. And then start the transition over to the other side. Being just as mindful on this side that the weight's as even as you can get it on the glutes. And that your breath is present. Remember that it's always good to smile and enjoy what you're doing. And then just pause in this forward fold. Now, if it feels better to have the elbows or the hands on the knees, you can definitely do that. You can put the elbows on the ground and support the head. And then bring yourself back up. Lift the knees, stretch the legs out, and again, just give them a nice bounce. Rock the legs from side to side. Reposition your glutes, your sits bones. Use your props if you need. Bend the knees, lift the hips, tilt the pelvis. Think bringing ribs towards thighs. They may not touch, that's fine. Try not to hang the head. A nice long spine. Now you may find that through these weeks you've progressed a bit. You may find that we don't progress as quickly. Don't worry, it's more that you show up and do your practice time and time again. That's why they should call it a practice. Good, bring yourself up and bounce it out again. Rock it out. We'll keep the legs straight now. Readjust, and we'll bring our hands to our shoulders. And let's do some shoulder rolls. So shoulders are ball and socket joints. Try to get a sense of how does it feel here. Chin's parallel to the floor, don't drop your chin. Good, pause, go the other way. Good, and then pause. Bring the elbows towards each other. And open towards each other. And open. Keep in mind, they may not touch. Towards each other. Now, could you cross the left over the right? And the answer can always be no. Line them up again, and then try the other side. And often we find that one side is much easier than the other. Open the shoulders, take a few breaths, make sure your legs aren't locked, and if the back hurts, bend the knees more. If the hamstrings are tight, move the legs farther apart. Bend over to the right. Keep your breathing if the neck allows. You can look up to the ceiling. If you are looking up, look straight ahead. Bring yourself back up. And then bend to the other side. Try to imagine that your elbow is that extension up from your shoulder. As always, if this is causing you pain, there's modifications you can make, and just simply lower the hands down. If the neck allows, look up. Notice if you find yourself holding your breath, and just come back to that place of I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Gaze comes forward, torso comes up, extend the arms, and again, take yourself forward. Now, you may find your legs could be closer together. What feels right for you? And bring yourself back up. Now, if you are sitting on a block or blanket, you may want to slide it out for a moment. Let the knees bend. Take your fingertips out and drop both your knees over to the right. Bring them back to the center and over to the other side. Now, what you don't want is this really big lift. You want to try to drop it down as much as you can. Now, you may notice that as I bring my knees up, I have to walk my feet forward. As I drop them over, I draw my heels in. So don't forget to allow for a bit of movement. If all I do is try to drop my knees here, that's about where I go. So don't be afraid to pick your feet up. Just noticing what is your hip mobility today, and not to judge it, but simply notice. Finish back at the center, Extend your left leg out and drop your right knee down. Again, if you need to sit up on the blocks or blankets, by all means. And take yourself into a forward fold. You can always bend this left knee. You can also use props under that right knee. It doesn't have to be a fancy block. Remember, you can use a Kleenex box, you can use a cushion, whatever you need, just to provide yourself a little bit of support, stability. Don't shy away from the use of props. Good, bring yourself back up. If you need the props, continue to use them. This right knee comes back up. The opposite hand, so the left hand will come to the right leg. The right hand will just come to the floor beside you, and you'll twist to the right, leading with the low belly, the mid part of the body, and then the shoulders. If the knee wants to draw out, you move the foot out. If the opposite is true, that the knee wants to draw in, you move the foot in. Keep breathing. Chin's parallel to the floor. Good, bring it back to the center. Let the knee drop, and again, you can slide it in, support it if you need, and fold forward to release that twist. Bring yourself back up. Bring the right knee up, stretch it out, give it a little bounce. And then we'll bend the left knee, so you are moving the hip in the socket, dropping the left knee out. Remember, the same option applies for props under the knee, either knee. Start by taking the body forward. Use your breathing, not forcing it, but just mindful breathing. Mindful breathing is a great way to bring us into the present moment, just to take us out of fight or flight and more into a relaxation response. You can bring yourself back up. Place that left foot sole on the floor. I'll turn sideways this time so you can see. If you are leaning back, what you may need to do is slide the foot farther forward so you can sit up. It's opposite hand to knee and twisting. We don't want to, this particular twist, we don't want to crank from the shoulders. So to the best of your ability, really sit up, low back, belly area, then rib cage area, shoulders. The head is always the last to turn, and you may not even find you want to turn the neck if you have any neck strain or tension. Breathing, and then releasing it. Let that knee drop down, and then take yourself back into this forward fold position to release the twist. Bring yourself back up. You can drop both knees down into this butterfly or cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana position. If it's comfortable to rock, you can rock. But remember, as always, you may find that you need support under the knees, and rocking is not an option. So use what you have, and then bring yourself slightly forward. Two different stretches if you're pressing the foot soles together, or if you're taking the thumbs to the balls of the feet and rolling the feet open. That's good. Bring yourself up, stretch the legs out. And now we'll come on to our hands and knees. So there's a couple of ways to do it. You can just simply get onto your hands and knees, or perhaps you cross your ankles and come onto your hands and knees. You can put padding under the knees as always. That's good. And now just take a moment, shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees and hips in line, knees and ankles in line. If you drop your head, look down, and you see your feet, they might not be parallel, so just slide them behind the thighs. Good, use your breathing. Now for a moment, let's do some hand exercises and just see if you could lift your thumbs up off the floor, don't drop your head down, and tap your thumbs. Good, and now see if you could tap your pinky fingers. It's not easy. Now try tapping your pointer fingers. It's probably a bit easier. Pause now, middle fingers. And if you're like me, I hardly can lift my ring fingers up off the floor. See what you can do. Lift all 10 fingers up. Place them back down. See if you could lift the heels of the hands up, come up onto your fingertips. Come back down onto a flat back, flat palms. And then see, could you lift just the heels of the hands up, coming onto the knuckle part of the hand. Back down and up, almost like a little bit of a finger push up. Back down. Good. Come all the way up and shake that out. It's really important to keep the circulation in our hands. Good. Make tight fists. Tight, 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 tight. Let it go. Now, if your shoulders allow, bring the arms up. If you're not having issues with high blood pressure, bring them up. Tighten everything as tight as you can, including your glutes. It's really good to really tighten the body. It gets the lymphatic system pumping, and release it. Bring yourself back down onto your hands and knees. Tuck your left toes under and slide your left leg straight back. All 10 toes are tucked. Put a tiny micro bend in the left knee and slide those tucked toes over to the right. Tuck the toes under, press through the left heel, and begin to straighten the left leg. Don't lock it. Good. Turn the head and look over the right shoulder towards the left heel. Try your best not to turn your shoulders. This is just a neck movement. Bring the head back to the center. Slide that left leg straight back, tuck the toes, press through the heel. And now bend the left knee, round the upper back, and bring the nose and the knee towards each other to be sure you haven't strained the back. The knee comes down. Slide yourself up, make tight fists, shake it out, give the wrists a bit of a break. Second time, you can lift the arms if your shoulders allow. Really tight, big breath in, squeeze the glutes, and let go. Bring yourself back down, and we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So natural curve of the spine, not this, arch, not the over tuck, just that natural curve. Head's not hanging. Right toes tucked, right leg slides back. Micro bend in the knee, the leg goes over to the left, the toes land on the ground. You press out through the heel, dropping the hip down. Make sure there's weight in this left foot, or it'll be in your kneecap and your wrists. If the neck allows, turn your head over the left shoulder, look back to the right heel, keep your shoulders moving apart, away from the spine. And then bring your head back to the center, slide the leg back, and draw the knee in, rounding the upper back, creating some movement. Now, if your hands are too far forward, put the knee down, slide the hands back, and you may get more of a release in the upper back. Good, knee can come down. Now, dropping the bottom back to the heel, this is child's pose. You can stack the fists, bring your forehead to the hands. Now, if you have any knee or hip issues, this might be too much. Other option is to open the knees wider. We've done it before. Or to lie on your back, bringing thighs to chest. Good. Help yourself all the way up onto your knees. And again, if you need padding under the knees, by all means. Slide yourself over to the side of your mat and extend your right leg out. Now you want to think about your left thigh and your right knee, or right toes being in line, as opposed to the leg being forward or back. Make sure the knee's not locked. Draw the legs in and really rise up. Good, breathe here. You can slide this right hand down the right leg and come into a side bend. Breathing. Don't let the head hang. Keep the neck up in line with the spine. Good. Make sure there's weight in the back foot. Bring yourself up. Second time, repeat it exactly the same, or if the shoulder allows, lift the arm up. And bring yourself over. Still breathing. Good. Bring yourself all the way up. Lower the hand down. Bend the knee and turn the foot out. So the knee is in a 90-degree angle, knee above ankle. Good, same thing, you can put the elbow on the thigh and go into the side bend here, or if the shoulder allows, bring the arm up and over. Breathing, lift the chest up towards the ceiling, smile. It's all about finding ease, not confusing ease with easy. None of this is easy. Look straight ahead, bring yourself back up, and lower the knee down. Good, now we're moving to the other side of your mat. Building some knee strength. This is good for balance as well. All right, the left leg will stretch out. Now the action is like you're drawing your legs towards each other. And if you have trouble lining up, you can always line up with the long end of the mat. Make sure you're not sticking your bottom out. Slide the hand down the leg, other hand on the hip. As you slide over, you can check to make sure you're not blocking the leg, not hanging the head, neck in line with the spine. That's good. Bring yourself back up, using the strength of your legs. Second time, lift that other arm if it feels good in your shoulder. Try to keep your head up. Smile and breathe. Up, lower the hand, bend the knee so the toes turn out, knee and heel in line. You can rest the elbow on the leg and bend over, or if the shoulder allows, coming over here. Again, the legs draw towards each other. Use those legs, the leg strength, and tap your toes. Don't lock your toes. Good. Bring yourself up. Lower the arm down and lower the knee down. To come to standing, see if you could put one foot on the floor and then the other. And if that doesn't work, maybe you have a wall or a chair or something, just help yourself up. Go back and forth from the toes to the heels, check out your balance, and just some movement in those shoulders. Keep them mobile. Knees and feet are about hip width apart. Bend the knees, send the hips back. That's good. So from the front, like this. Palms can be on thighs, hands can be on hips. Wherever you have the most stability, you'll lift the left heel up and take the left leg out. Bring it in, take it out. Now if you have a chair or a wall, you can hold on to it. Try not to let this hip thrust. A couple more times if you can. Smiling and breathing, good for hip stability, balance, core strength. Good, bring it in, take it down, elbows to thighs, just pause, don't drop that head below the shoulders. Good, palms to thighs, bring yourself up, still sitting in that chair, other heel lifts, out, in, out. Watch that hip popping, try to draw it in, use this core strength, connecting the top and the bottom half of the body right here at the center. You might find yourself getting hot. That's a sign you're doing all the work from the inside out. Good. When you feel you've done about the same, pause, lower the heel, elbows to thighs. Now, if this is where you feel the best, stay here. Perhaps you could go into a forward fold. Remember, if you have a prop, anything, you can rest your hands on it. Don't drop your head down if you're feeling dizzy at all or if you have any blood pressure issues. Just stay at that halfway. You can always take your hands, hold your ankles. See what's best for you. We'll bend our knees, place our palms on our thighs, and come back to our chair. I'm just going to slide forward a bit. So I'm staying from the side this time so you can see the movement of the leg. Hands on a wall, on a chair, forward, wherever they give you feedback. The right heel lifts, the right leg goes back, a high lunge. Bring yourself back and slide it back. In, back, in, back. Try to keep those hips squared. Heel down, release into your chair. If you feel your back at all, always safer to come halfway and just take care of it. You might need your feet farther apart. Coming back to the chair, arms can be in the same position or a different position. Heel lifts, switching legs now. Back, in, back, in. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm just reminding you to breathe. Often we find ourselves holding our breaths. Breathing, good. Heel down, palms to thighs, pause in your chair. Elbows to thighs, breathing. And then perhaps a full fold. You know what's best for you. Bend the knees, place the palms on the thighs, and bring yourself up. Good, go back and forth from your toes to your heels. Good, your feet can be together or a little bit apart, it's up to you. Interlace your fingers, so get your fingers right into the webbing, and then it's like you're pulling your fingers apart, so your shoulders broaden. Press the palms out. It's good, breathing, breathing, breathing. The arms can lift if there's not any shoulder problems. If this is painful, it is much better to do this with your hands on your hips. I'll do the first round with my hands on my hips to show you. Knees are slightly bent. You come part way forward, over to the right, coming up, over to the left. Do it about 4 times in this direction if you can. Breathing. When you finish back at the center. Now I'll show you when I go the other direction what it looks like with the arms in the air. You should do it the same way on the other side, going over, across, up, over, across. Now if the arms are up, the head stays between the arms. Now this is quite a challenging option. So remember, be kind to yourself and really try your best to practice the yoga philosophy of being truthful with yourself. Good, finish at the center. Pause, release the arms, bend the knees, and again, halfway, just to make sure that back's okay. As long as you know you can go all the way forward, then go all the way forward. Turn the head, relax the neck. From where you are, come onto your hands and knees. Now, if you do need padding, you can use the padding. Tuck your 10 toes under. Send your bottom back to your heels and move your hands a little bit wider apart, perhaps about mat width. You use your arms to bring your torso forward. You bend the elbows and lower yourself down. And if that doesn't work, you get down how you can. You slide your hands up a little bit. Toes are still tucked. You press back up and send the hips back. Now we're not trying to get our bottom to the heels, just lengthening. We draw ourselves forward, elbows tuck in slightly and bend, and try lowering down again. Breathing as you do. One more time, if you want to leave it out, you know you can. Press up, press back, just working hips, shoulder stability, upper body strength, which is so important because, you know, If you're walking on slippery ground, you want to have strength to stop yourself from banging your head when you land. Once you're on the belly, take one hand and place the other hand on top, and just rest your forehead on your hands. Take a breath or two here just to establish your new foundation, which is on your belly. Good. Your feet are about hip width apart, slightly wider if you find your back bothering you. Tops of the feet on the floor. The arms extend up above your head on the ground as long as your shoulders allow. If they don't, take the arms out to the side to a T position. Good. Lift your right leg and your left arm up, your forehead, nose, chin, and chest. Use the hand and the foot that's on the floor to even out the body, so you don't want all the weight rolling to one side. This is a back bend. Slightly squeeze the shoulder blades, make sure the neck is relaxed. Bring that arm and leg down. Bend your elbows. You can turn your head to one side if you like. Just try your best to make sure you're alternating sides. You can also bend the knees and let them rock a bit from side to side. Bring the legs back down. Take the arms back to where they were. And this time you're lifting the opposite diagonal. So right hand, left leg, forehead, nose, chin, chest. Make sure both hip bones are on the ground. Check in with your breath. Make sure that you are breathing. The natural curve of your neck. Good. Lower yourself down. One hand on top of the other. You can turn the head if you like. Try to turn it the opposite way if you can. And we'll repeat that once more on each side, knowing full well that you can leave it out if necessary. Coming up, left leg, right arm, really extend out through the toes, leg is straight. Lifting from that insertion point below the glutes, not just lifting the foot. Neck is not straining. An exhalation brings you down. If you can go straight up on that other diagonal, do that. If you need to bend your knees between, honestly, give yourself the option that you need. Coming back down, opposite hand on top, head turns. Bending the knees, letting the legs rock if you like. Bring the legs down. Slide the hands under the shoulders. Press up onto your hands and knees. Take a moment just to rock the bottom from side to side. You can open the knees wide this time, touching or pointing the big toes towards each other, and coming into a wider variation of child's pose, which is always good for releasing hips and low back, particularly after back bends. As always, don't drop the head if you're feeling dizzy or any blood pressure issues. You can use your blocks or your books to rest your forehead on, and that could give you some really nice support. Bring yourself back up. We're coming onto our back now. So you can cross your ankles, sit down, extend the legs, and curl down however you like. Or you can just get down here the way that feels the best for you. Once you're down, again, reposition your neck. You may need a little blanket under your head or a towel or something. Bring your thighs into your chest and just rock a little bit from side to side. If your back is bothering you, you may prefer to keep your feet on the floor and just rock. So see what would be the best option for you. Good. Feet come down. The left thigh comes into the chest. The right hand comes across. The right leg straightens, and you twist to the left. Now here, again, you may find that you do need a prop under the knee. If it's not comfortable to keep the hand there, you can take it down. Your head can be in whatever direction is best for your neck. Your back arm can be on the ground. It can be on the side body. It's always a nice option to let the arm kind of slide up and down a bit. Listen to the story of your breath. It's really an important story. Bring yourself back onto a flat back and just take a couple of breaths in this half wind relieving position, just working into digestion. And then put that foot on the floor. Bring the right thigh up into the chest. You'll probably need your prop on the other side. Opposite hand to knee, so left to right. That left leg can straighten. And now you're twisting to the left. Use the support for that right knee if you need it. Back arm can be higher or lower. Head can turn whatever direction allows you to have ease in the neck. This back arm, you can explore it again just by letting it rock, wave a little bit. You can always even support this back arm. Elevating it gives the shoulder some space to release. Just see what it is you might need. Bring yourself back onto your back. Bring your knee into your chest. Take a couple of breaths. Bring the other knee up. And then releasing the back, I'm just sliding my prop out of the way. By bringing the hands to the knees, bend the elbows, draw the thighs into the chest. Straighten the elbows, press the thighs away. So the heels rest down, and you're just breathing in, belly expands. Breathing out, belly draws to spine. Shins tipping down, maintaining that natural curve. Just breathing in, breathing out. This is a nice way to release low back, to massage the digestive system, and just to ground you as you prepare for Shavasana. Good, you can bring the feet to the floor. Now remember, in Shavasana you may want to stretch the legs out. If the back bothers you, keep the legs, bend the knees. You can let the feet flop to the side, have the arms out to the side with the palms up, or hands on the belly. Eyes open or closed, whatever feels the best for you. Take a long, deep breath in. A long, surrendering exhalation. Allowing the front body to melt to the back body. The back body to soften and receive the support of the ground beneath it. Let the warmth of relaxation move gently within you. Relaxing the toes and the legs. Relaxing the hips and the belly. Feel the relaxation move through the rib cage and across the chest. Allowing the shoulders to soften. Let them go. The warmth of relaxation moves through the arms to the fingertips. Relax them. The glutes relax, allowing the back to release. Shoulders, neck, head, let go. The worry lines melt away from the forehead. The eyes are soft. The ears relax. The cheeks relax. The eyes sink deeply in their softness. The teeth part and the tongue falls free. The jaw softens. The throat relaxes and we begin to let our inner voice guide us. Picture the soft white light that shines brightly all around you. And draw that white light of peace into your heart. And let your mind rest within that light. Completely relaxed. I encourage you to stay in relaxation for longer if you want to. Otherwise, gently let the awareness begin to return, bringing some gentle movement back to fingers and toes. You can always bend the knees and just let them rock a bit from side to side to check in with the back. You can stay where you are, or you can support your head in the bottom arm and just roll over onto one side, taking a couple of breaths as you start your transition back. Try to remind yourself to be as kind to yourself when you leave your mat as you are when you're on your mat. Help yourself back up to a seated position, reestablishing your foundation, so support yourself if you need to. Take a long breath in, gather up everything positive that you can. Bring in all those positive thoughts to your heart. And when you exhale, try to release the things you don't need to hold on to. Bowing your head to your own heart in gratitude to yourself. Thank you so much for sharing your